Excellent connection, and we're live.
How do you know it's excellent?
Don't we love that moment?
Well,
I love it.
Lord.
I swear every Wednesday starts the same.
You get so excited about it. Like, literally, we should be live every day because David is on a roll.
I think it's an amazing, forum basically to do this live, to engage live. I honestly think so.
So we had an idea that we may actually take the live to Zoom. Like, we'll give you guys a Zoom link. That way we can actually see you guys as well. And then, it's only a thought process.
Yeah, we have to figure that out.
We have to think about it. And then we can actually interact with you. Like, I think you can actually talk back.
Yeah, there's some ideas. Yeah, there's some ideas to make this even more interactive.
There's some ideas to make it even more interactive.
Exactly. Before we get into it, obviously for all the newcomers and non-subscribers yet, please make sure to obviously subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed yet, to catch all the notifications and our latest videos. And of course, welcome to all of our lovely subscribers. You're very welcome to yet another Wednesday live.
Thank you.
We're very excited.
All the support every week.
Exactly. And as you can see from the title, today is gonna be particularly spicy.
Oh my God.
Particularly spicy. Besides all the other weeks.
David loves this.
I am ready.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, want to say hi to all of you joining us.
From Italy, from Zimbabwe, Ghana, Birmingham, amazing.
Yeah.
All over again from Sydney. You are all very, very welcome.
You're
as
very
always.
welcome. Thank you so much. And also leave a comment if you're coming from Instagram, because we've actually just hopped off our Instagram live, telling people that we're going to be on YouTube live. Hopefully is there a service where you can stream on every platform concurrently?
Not yet. That's a great idea. That's a great.
startup
Although since
idea.
all these are owned by different companies, I feel this might become very, very difficult to get the APIs of all these platforms and make it work. Yeah. Well, one day.
One day.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Lots and lots of guys. New Jersey as well in the house, so that's awesome. Canada, you are again very, very welcome. Oh, I think a lot of compliments for your blouse, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Hashtag Black owned business, because it's Black History Month. So shout out to the lovely The Chemist. Kemi is her name. She owns this brand called The Chemist. TK, literally. That's what's on the label. So check her out. She has really, really cool stuff. Not sponsored. Don't know her Don't know her personally, but she's really cool.
Amazing.
And I love her pieces.
It is beautiful, yes. Yeah,
well,
very
thank
beautiful.
you, David.
Very beautiful.
Well, considering we're talking about spicing up our relationship, I thought I'll spice up my outfit.
All right. Okay. Speechless.
Lord help me.
Should we start with our usual tradition? You guys know this by now, and if you're new, every week, of course, we are pouring a glass of wine to get ready for the session. Yeah. And we obviously hope that you guys have something to drink with you, whether it's a tea or wine.
We really should maybe actually introduce things like tea.
Maybe, yeah. Although,
smoothies.
But you see, for us, it's evening. I mean, that'd be different if we had a morning session or if it was breakfast for some of you guys, if you're in maybe Australia.
Are you actually promoting that you can't drink healthy drinks?
No, but for me at least, like a smoothie is more like a morning drink. So I would normally.
Not for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. That is very, very true. All right. Okay. Well, cheers. Prost.
Cheers. Prost.
To today.
Babe, look at me.
I was looking.
Did you actually do you drink?
Yeah. Very nice. What do you mean?
You know what they say, if you don't look at me and drink.
Uh-oh. I know.
Okay.
Never happened.
I know.
Right.
So let's jump right into this video.
Yes.
How to spice up your relationship.
Oh, yeah. I think this is obviously something that all of you, and including ourselves, of course, who have been or are in long-term relationships, or you're married or have a long-term partner in general, I think is something that at some point, we all face. And if you have not been in a long-term relationship, it's certainly something you probably couldn't think about. So how do you keep up the love and the kind of the fire, the chemistry, right? How do you keep it up? And again, as always, we want to obviously share a little bit of our lessons learned, maybe, and tips and tricks, of course. Basically, what we do, right? Because it applies to so many people. Not really something a lot of people talk about a lot, because nobody wants to admit there's a problem. It's very hard for couples to obviously sit down, or individuals to say, yeah, maybe we've lost a little bit the sparkle, right?
Yeah.
That's very hard to actually admit, right?
The spark.
The spark, sorry.
So cute.
My English is not very good.
You can get away with that one,
Yeah.
Mr. German.
I'm the German. Anyway, but yeah, so it's a bit difficult, but we want to address it today.
Okay. So, generally speaking, so should we just dive into like tips, or should we dive into what we personally do, or it's just like a mixture of both?
As always, a mixture. And also, as always, I mean, hear from you guys as well. If you have an interesting story, if you have a question, again, leave it in the comment box, and we try in between also to get to it as well. But no, I think let's do a mixture.
Yeah, I'll do a mixture.
Yeah.
So number one thing, I mean, you guys remember that during the lockdown, we kind of we were very intentional about having date nights, because we're working a lot, and we realized like we were getting like really exhausted with the kids and just wanting to dive back into work afterwards. So we decided to be really, really intentional about like our date nights.
Right.
Now, so what we realized, in all honesty and transparency, right, over time, it really fell into be like another routine as well. So the same way that we would, have our nighttime routine with the kids, shower, dinner, bedtime, every Wednesday and Sunday then became like an additional routine of, okay, we put the kids to bed, now it's time to go watch a movie or to have a popcorn and stuff. In the beginning it was really exciting. It was like a sigh of relief, like these 2 days we don't have to work. But the transparency here is like over time and months in lockdown, it became like an additional routine. Now, even though we recognize that was an additional routine, because we talk a lot, communication, it was still very important to kind of keep that going, because the alternative was to fall back into work. Like if we weren't taking the break to have popcorn and watch a movie and talk, we would be working. So although it was like a routine, we kept it going. So my tip with that, what we realized is being spontaneous is actually what brings the excitement. So things have gone back to, somewhat normal, in the sense that we're not like on lockdown with the kids. They're going to school. We're not on this hamster wheel, of like AM, PM routine. But I find it really cute or spontaneous when maybe Davy says, okay, babe, when you're not working tonight, we're actually going to watch a movie. So it's not like he's forcing me, but that, for me, that sort of... It's a good nudge to be like, okay, he actually wants my company, or he actually wants to spend time with me. So I find that being spontaneous with your date nights makes it more exciting than just saying, okay, we're now going to have date night once every 2 weeks, because that can really easily spiral into just another routine.
Absolutely. And I think, so that's a very good kind of, just generally speaking, being spontaneous. I think one other thing that when we kind of first talked about this and thought about it, was super interesting and actually quite hilarious to go through this. But I don't know how many of you have heard about the 5 love languages, because some of you might say, well, just being spontaneous, you still have to know then when you're being spontaneous, like what to do, right? And again, we will share a few more other things that we then sometimes do, again, not with a fixed schedule, just generally. But how did we decide or find out that those are the kind of things that really help us keep things spicy, right? And by the way, when we say spicy, it's not just from a kind of intimacy point of view, right? It's both.
Although that's important.
It's very important, but it's not just about that. So the 5 love languages, who, by the way, who of you guys watching have heard of the 5 love languages? Just maybe I was going to say show of hands, although that's slightly...
That's why we need Zoom. You can show your hands in Zoom.
No, but just maybe by letting us know quickly in the comment box as well below, by the way, if you have heard of the 5 love languages. Basically, what they are, number 1. So these are basically characteristics of different types of people and how they perceive and give love.
Yeah.
Okay? Obviously, that's important for you to know about yourself, and more importantly with your partner, so that you know when you want to be spontaneous and when you guys want to do something, what it is that would specifically appeal to your partner.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's not just being spontaneous with what you think you would like to do in that moment. It's about the other person.
Exactly. So the first one.
Oh, there's a lot of people that have heard about the
amazing
5 love languages.
Great. So we can give you a bit of maybe we'll let you know what we both believe we are. Okay. But first off, really briefly, the 5 love languages are words of affirmation,
acts of service,
quality time,
physical touch,
and receiving gifts.
Yes.
Yes. So those were the 5. Exactly. So
it actually, learning this, because I actually learned the 5 love languages only after we got married.
Yes.
But it just made me reflect on, maybe relationships that are based on maybe one partner being happy only when a gift is bought.
Yeah.
And I used to have this mentality that that's so shallow.
Yes.
But then realizing that really that is a valid way. Like, it's genuinely a way that people give and receive love.
Yeah.
And one of them being receiving gifts. So that's completely normal.
True. True. Yeah. So what do we think? What I know that some time ago we had that conversation, but what is my love language?
You're like putting me on the spot, David.
Yeah. That's what a live video is good for, right? No escaping.
You're evil. Okay, so if I was to... So am I supposed to like pick the top one or...
I mean, ideally 1, but I think it's fair to say maybe 2. If you can choose 2 at least out of the 5, that would be your love languages.
Mine or yours?
Sorry, mine, of course, yeah.
So your love language definitely is physical touch. You love touch.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
Love touch too, so that makes it even. But yeah.
Okay.
Definitely physical touch, and I would say spontaneous acts of service.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate. What do you mean spontaneous acts of service?
Because, okay, so you're not one to maybe expect anything from me. Let me just give a very cliche example. Is like cooking. You don't...
Right.
Our relationship is not set up in a way that you expect your meals to be ready.
Yeah.
But you really do love and appreciate when I take the time to cook for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, of course.
Especially,
I do.
I remember.
I do.
I remember last week when I put out my phone, I was cooking. You're like, babe, are you cooking from a recipe? I was like, yes. So you get excited about things like that. Yeah, I was excited. But I'd say the number 1 is physical touch.
Yeah, yeah.
What's mine?
I think for you, I can see you fit in all of them a little bit, to be honest.
Like, literally.
Like, there's nothing you'd want to exclude, but I think if I had to put 1 at least on top, I would say it is probably acts of service.
Yeah.
Like little gestures, it could be, I don't know, just when, basically, of course, the unexpected, right? Yeah. Like on a random day, just coming up to the office with a nice tray prepared with lunch. Just little things.
Can I just say, a few days ago, right? I was in the office. I was literally reminiscing about like breakfast, like fried eggs, sausages, and beans. It's just so weird. And I'll tell you, I had even physically consumed this meal in my imagination. And the next thing I know, the office door opens and David has a tray with all this food in it. I was like, he couldn't understand why I was looking at him like that. But I'm like, David, you do not understand. In this moment, I was thinking about this food and this is when you brought it. Yeah. And obviously that makes me appreciate it much more than if it was expected, or if I had told you.
Or another thing I can think of easily is, for example, in the evenings, Adanna loves heat, in general. Okay.
I'm African, David.
Of course, you're African, but just generally speaking, heat, regardless whether it's summer or winter. So, for example, little things that I know she would absolutely love is in the evening, for example, to go up in the bedroom already, turn on her heat blanket. She has I bought her a heat blanket.
Yeah, she bought the heat blanket.
An electronic heat blanket.
Do you remember when you bought me the blanket? I was
so excited.
David, you bought me a heat blanket.
Yeah.
I swear, that is so much more than a designer bag.
Right.
For me.
Yeah. Well, so I turned that on, or I'll turn it on, obviously turn the heater or in the room in general, just having that nice, maybe put a little bit of a scented oil or something. Anyway, preparing the bedroom basically for when she comes to bed, even if it's sometimes after I've gone to bed.
Yeah.
But I know these are little things, definitely some things I think you value quite a lot. Yeah. But then again, as I said, all the others are also very important to you, but I'll probably pick that as number one.
And because I don't expect it, it's much more special because almost every night I come to bed, the first thing I reach for is like trying to turn on the heat blanket. And I look, it's already turned on. And you look at me and you're like, I already turned it on.
I turned it on.
I love you.
It's on 10.
It's on 10, literally. So anyway,
okay. Yeah.
The point is, we're losing track there.
No.
The point is understanding your love language, but most importantly, understanding your partner's love language is what's gonna help you spice up your relationship. Because when you then try to be spontaneous, if your partner's love language is receiving gifts, well, don't bother spending your time being spontaneous, cooking a meal when they'd much rather receive a gift, something like that.
And actually, one thing that was funny afterwards as well that we talked about, and maybe one quick kind of test for you guys as well. Anybody who's in a relationship here, whether short or long term, by the way, could you, if you decide to be more intentional about your relationship today and be more spontaneous, let's say, could you list 3 things right now that your partner would absolutely love if you were to do these randomly, spontaneously in the next, I don't know, month or so, in the next 4 weeks?
Sure, that's a good exercise.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, could you literally...
Maybe one.
At least 3. Even just one. Just but one. I always think like 3 at least. But if you can even think of what's the one thing that maybe it's not one of the usual things, something a bit out of the ordinary, that your partner would absolutely love and be like, what's going on?
Yes.
If you feel comfortable, let us know. I'd love to see the kind of things that you're thinking about. If they're obviously... PG, okay. But anyway, that's a good test. And if you don't want to share, of course, that's fine. If you guys can think of anything, let us know. But that's normally a very good test, right? To say, do I know my partner well enough that at any point in the relationship, I can think of the one thing that he or she would absolutely love if we were to do this now.
Yeah, exactly.
Try it out.
Okay.
Works wonders.
So,
yes.
What's your next tip?
There are a couple of kind of cute little ones. For example, I remember for me was one of the cutest things that you had said to me. She doesn't know I'm going to say this now, but
oh my God, David, tell me first.
No, I'm not.
Tell me first.
No, I'm not. So at some point, Adanna came to me. I was like, "Oh, babe, something I miss." It's like, no, and like. Just randomly making out,
Oh, David, you do not just actually tell them that. I'm going to kill you.
No, you're not. So anyway, it was a great reminder almost. I thought it was actually really cute, number one. It was super sweet. It was very sweet. And I kind of got the point, of course. It's different. Yes, you kind of do it.
Oh my God, I'm going to kill him.
Little kind of kiss here and there, but I thought it was honestly, generally speaking, I felt it was really good that she said that. Honestly, it was really helpful for me to realize. You know what? Yes, there are things in between the usual kind of hello, good morning, goodbye kiss, right? And then of course the other extreme. But I thought that was. We'll get to that, but anyway. So but I wanted to tell you like this. I actually felt this was a really, really, I felt afterwards. Of course, initially it was a little bit like, but. Honestly, actually, it made a lot of sense and was very good that you were that open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense.
And
it made a lot of sense.
Well, since he's put me on the spot, I'm going to put him on the spot too.
You see, you guys know this. If you have watched our lives before, when I do something, and then Adanna does it like 10 times worse, right? So if I put her on the spot,
the difference between Kian and Noah.
She's like really going to put me on the spot now.
No, I'm just saying I remember when I actually then told you and you were like, because, like you rightfully said, it's not like we don't like kiss and hug and cuddle and all that stuff, but there's the in between. There's the very light one, exactly. The things like the love display even in front of the kids and stuff, and then there is the proper intimacy. But then when I told you about the making out, and you're like, do you think we don't make out? I'm like, I mean, like, just like second base. And I was like, David, don't make me sound like I'm at university or like high school girl.
Are we dating again?
But yeah, that's pretty much what it should be. Yeah. Like,
no, I appreciate that. Yeah, 100%. You're right. You're completely right.
Yeah.
So that was a good one.
Since then, we've been making out.
What? I don't know what you mean. I think, look, moving on. Another thing that we've certainly, that was very helpful for us, and of course with a lot of the online stuff that we're doing and the businesses and stuff, of course, is kind of almost an obvious one for us, but generally finding, of course, some level of common topics, themes, hobbies, or passions that you guys can find, right? Because I think
do together.
Yeah, to do together, right? It doesn't have to be, of course, again, as we said in the beginning, not a regular thing, because otherwise anything regular becomes a routine, and then it loses that kind of, I guess, spicy factor.
Yeah.
But just something that you guys maybe are passionate about, that you can, whether it's, for example, theater. I mean, maybe these days with COVID, not so good, but generally something, again, that once in a while you guys can, spend some time together, talk about it, or go somewhere again.
Yeah.
I think that's very good, that you have that one thing.
And I think it's important to find that common game, because, I mean, typically, this is me being, overgeneralizing.
Yeah.
But mostly boys would like, or men would like football. I'm not a big football fan. So when it comes to like sports or things we would like together, like when it's like Champions League or Premier League, I'm like, okay.
Whatever.
So
But you're the best in guessing results.
Yeah,
that's very annoying.
The funny thing is, I accurately predict the outcome of every
almost
game.
every game. It's ridiculous.
Babe, don't say almost. It's every game.
It's ridiculous, really.
Literally. And that was like, maybe you should start betting on these games.
Honestly, you would have made a lot of money.
But anyway, so with the sports, we're both really interested in any like badminton or tennis or squash. We used to actually go play squash together. But since the kids, actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention, right? With all of the tips that we're giving, it's important to be realistic about like your situation.
Right.
And there is a season for everything. So for example, if you've just recently had a baby, you're a new parent, or like you're a first time parent, or a parent to a toddler, like you're in the phase of parenthood that makes it difficult to even focus on you and your partner. That's okay, because we went through that, with Kian's birth, all of the like emergency section and recovery from surgery. Like there were months where I couldn't even think about going on any date night or date day, whatever that was. But we're in a different phase where we have two toddlers that are, no longer in nappies, sleeping through the night. We are in a different phase. So be okay with where you are, be realistic about your situation. But it's also the fundamentals, like learning each other's love languages, knowing what excites each other. That's something that you should know, regardless of whether you can execute on it or not.
True. Very good point, as always. Now, should we move on to the very spicy part?
That's what you like anyway.
No, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's kind of, waiting for it.
Yeah, of course.
But actually, you know what? Before we do that, to be fair, we've been seeing lots of comments that you guys are leaving, and obviously it's difficult to catch up with everything. But maybe we can take here a quick second to also see if you guys have any questions so far. So anything you want to share with us or ask us at this point before we now get to the end again and then suddenly run out of time. Any questions you guys have, please leave a comment in the comment box below. I think on this side? No,
don't try. Just say leave a comment. It's
anyway.
But a quick shout out to Ibu Esther, who said, I've never been live here before, but I obviously chose the right day. Yes, you did, baby girl. Come back next week. Every week is the right day. Every Wednesday is the right Wednesday, let me tell you. So you've obviously missed out on a couple of Wednesdays, but we're very happy to have you here.
There are many more to come.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Moving on.
All right. Adanna, please give me your predictions for sports, for football. maybe we'll open up a little business of these are Adanna's thoughts. If you want to get access to what she thinks.
Literally, guys, it's crazy how accurately I predict these games. The games I'm literally not interested in. Like, I can walk into the living room, two clubs playing. I tell David it's going to be 3-2, and this game, the last goal will be scored 2 minutes before time. Like, literally, it just happens exactly like that.
Insane.
And do you remember, I think if you guys remember that I had shared to you that's how I actually had these situations in medical school as well, where I would accurately predict all of my OSCE stations for exams.
Oh, I remember that.
And I would tell my friends, we're going into this maybe pediatrics OSCE. These are the 10 OSCE stations you're gonna get. And literally, guys, is the exact 10. I'm like, but anyway, I've been, you know, you guys know that I'm huge on personal development, and I've been reading a lot about like intuition. So I'm trying to tap more into that.
Very good. There are actually two questions that come through. That Trini Chick Tiff has said, how open are you with PDA around the kids? I would say number one, we're very open with it. Now, of course, there's a bit of a definition of PDA. Of course, there's their limits. But
we don't like make out and like.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, well, PDA could mean a lot of things. We definitely hug and kiss and give us long hugs, and you know, like I think it's very important and good for kids to see that as well, right?
I think
that's nothing to hide.
Yeah, and the kids comment on it.
Oh, so cute. Or they interrupt. They're like, excuse me, like you know,
Noah,
no,
Papa, what you're doing?
Yeah.
What you're doing to Mama? Why are you hugging her?
Or the one time he was like, Mama, kiss me. Mama, kiss me. That was hilarious. So we're very open about it. We don't see anything wrong with it. I think
it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I think it's important to show a level of affection because now when we realize how much Kian talks about love as a family, like our family, we love each other.
I love my family.
I love my family. I feel like it stems from the way he sees us show affection to each other.
It's
important. But let's not digress. Okay,
no,
so
you want to get into it. Okay. No, I mean, and obviously the very, very big and important topic, of course, big topic on this is obviously in the bedroom, right? I mean, that is a...
It mustn't be in the bedroom, David.
Ooh, all right. Okay, we're starting with a big one here.
Well, didn't you say you were going right into it?
Wow, guys. Now tell me who's more excited about this part.
I'm just laying out the facts.
Well, we're going to go straight to it. It does not have to be in the bedroom, number one. You know what we're talking about. That's a good point, I guess. Sorry, you caught me a little off guard there.
Being spontaneous. We talked about this in the
true.
beginning of the video.
Yes, I think I was going to, of course, start a bit more broader. And
don't drag it.
Like with everything on the topic, of course, of intimacy, beyond just general PDA, of course. Number one, being able to talk about it and being open about it. I think at any point where one partner feels there's something missing on that front and in that department, right? It is just so important to actually feel like you can easily go to your partner and mention it. I mean, if you feel, oh my God, I can't say it to him or her because he or she might be offended by it, or I don't want to come across as X or Y, then that's already not a good thing, right? Yeah. Then something, with your, let's say, communication channels or way of communication, I would say is a little...
Yeah, and I want to make it clear that especially as a married couple, right? Because when we talk about, partnership being together, it's any relationship. But when it comes to this communication about intimacy, it's very important, if whether you're married or not. But if you have now committed to this person, obviously you've committed with the intention of forever. If you've not committed, you can break up, you can go separate ways. Same thing with marriage anyway. But it's more, how would I say? It's more... I can't find the word, but my point is, like, with marriage especially, that's when it's important to be open about things like intimacy, what you like, what you enjoy, what you want to try.
Exactly.
I mean,
don't underestimate. I from some stories that from friends or that we've come across or heard, don't underestimate the importance of this in the long run. You might think if you kind of, a couple of years into the relationship, you might think, I don't want to overplay this now. Surely there are bigger things, bigger fish to fry almost if you want, right? You might have young kids, you want to build a family, buy a house, build up your investment or whatever it might be, right? You think, we can address this at a later stage. But don't underestimate the importance of this. This is important in every relationship, right? And if one person, if you're not quite happy or you feel... okay, something is missing here, is getting a little bit boring or kind of, this is not what I thought it would be. Super important that you address it, honestly. Like, that's just number one, right? Besides that, in terms of, you've already immediately, obviously, a couple of things. Yes, it doesn't have to be in the bedroom.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Number one. I think there was another really interesting thing from a few, a while ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What interesting whisper into my ears. Okay, so David just whispered lingerie in my ears.
Great.
Anyway, yes, that is important as well to get things a bit exciting. For me anyway, the way that I think about it is, what were the things that got us really excited, especially in the beginning? Because the reality, if you're not married and you don't have any kids, let me break up that reality for you. The way that you guys are currently humping each other is not gonna be the same way. Like, I mean, even in sheer amount, because you have other distractions, you have life. That is just the reality of it. And
exactly,
you know, that's just the reality. So when things start becoming very monotonous, let's just say, it's important to think about, okay, back then when y'all were like getting your groove on every 5 minutes, what was it about that time that got you very excited? You know, and for me was just you know, just lingerie, like bedroom clothing, whether it's even just like a silk robe or any of those, you know, and Summer's Victoria's Secret-ish situationship going on inside. That's something I very much liked wearing. He very much liked seeing, and you know, it just had to make a comeback at some stage.
Yeah, I think actually, so thinking of what you just said, so the one thing is, think about back exactly as you said, kind of when you were kind of in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, right? What are the things you were doing there? Yeah. But at the same time, I think there's also a whole new world that opens up.
A whole new world. Na, 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 na. Right,
okay. Now everybody probably dropped out and then nobody is in. Sorry. There's a whole new world that opens up when you're a bit longer in a relationship that obviously you wouldn't necessarily do when you were just started dating. Also in terms of trying out new things. Again, these are normally things probably, you know, you'd only do if you're very, very comfortable in a relationship, together for years and years, maybe married for many, many years. But at some point, you know, I think that's also something to look into, right? So there are those two different things. One, you weren't listening. One was to go back to your early honeymoon phase.
Oh, right, of course,
to go back there. Mm-hmm. But then there's another thing, things that you would have never tried if you were just early in a relationship, but that become very interesting again once you're longer in a relationship.
Exactly.
Now you're getting me.
Oh, yes. Now I
okay, now you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Definitely. Yes. So.
Exactly. Sorry, can I just quickly, I want to give a quick shout out to Joanne. Who said that she's just celebrated her 26th wedding anniversary. So congrats, that's amazing.
Congratulations, Joanne.
And the topic today is what has made me enjoy my marriage a lot. Thank you, that's amazing. We've learned our love languages and have made it a point to spice it up by being adventurous. I love that.
Okay, Joanne, you are goals.
Yes, you could not be a better ambassador of what we're trying to say here today.
Literally.
Amazing. I mean, we wish that at 26th year wedding anniversary, we still have that spirit.
Spark,
you know, have that spark. Amazing. So congrats. Sorry, I just wanted to.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
What else? The bedroom that doesn't have to be the bedroom.
Okay. Yeah.
Any tips, by the way? I mean, do you guys can think of anything that you want to share, maybe, since we were shared a few things, in terms of how to spice up that department?
Somebody asked, Sylvia asked, does lingerie help or it shouldn't be necessary? I'm a huge advocate for lingerie.
Me too.
Just to answer that question, I am, because it's like a different persona, you know? Like, rather than I'm referring to myself, rather than my domestic self, like going around in like sweatpants or like home clothes because I have to be active with the boys. I feel like there is that middle ground between wearing like very loose home clothing to like being stark naked. the middle ground is like where the excitement starts. So like there's no point just throwing off the clothes and like you just get your groove on and call it a night.
Yeah.
Or a day.
Yeah, and
it doesn't
also
have to be at the night.
Another thing as well, Sylvia, maybe when
yeah.
you say that it shouldn't be necessary, I think that there's no such thing.
No, she's asking.
Yeah, that shouldn't be necessary. I think whatever it is that you know excites you or something is okay. Like there shouldn't be, if you think, oh, lingerie shouldn't be necessary to, you know. No, but if that's something that excites somebody, same with like some people find it maybe a little odd to watch something maybe, right?
Yeah.
To get in the mood or something. But that's okay too. Is that if that is something that helps and excites and, you know, sparks something, then that's what you should be doing, right?
Yeah.
So anything goes.
Anything goes. And I just want to take a break to give the biggest shout out to Melody God's Power. Melody has been watching us for 4 years now. She always shows up early to our lives on Instagram. And Melody, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you.
And apologies if we've never seen your comment.
Yeah.
Great. Exactly. So let's get
No, somebody said that they see, I think they're referring to the lingerie situation as a conversation starter or spices the mood.
Yes.
And listen, there's never one size fits all.
Yeah.
And there's never any situation or tip, especially when it comes to love or marriage, that applies in every situation because we're not robots, right? So the fact that I'm advocating for lingerie doesn't mean, I mean, you also have to realize it takes away some of the very spontaneous acts. Like you're making out in, I don't know, living room, kitchen, I don't know. You're not going to say, well, let me quickly run up and wear this lingerie. Obviously not. But the being spontaneous could also be like, tonight we're just, you know, in bed, like reading a book and I rock out of my closet in a lingerie. That's also being spontaneous, but that gives...
Huh? What?
David,
what?
David,
did I say something?
concentrate on this video.
Okay, yes.
Anyway, someone said
all right,
sexting during the day.
Finally we're breaking the ice and you guys are comfortable sharing.
Yeah, so sexting during the day, definitely.
Sharing steamy, snaps, pics.
Okay, so... Yeah, do you know,
Go for it.
So we sexted, but in terms of like the steamy snaps, I'm particularly paranoid
be careful
about
there.
like, just because of this whole cloud hacking situation and the fact that we are on the internet, like I just get really paranoid.
Oh, no, of course. I was going to say the same thing, of course. With the snaps in general, I completely agree with the idea behind it, right? And how you know it can be very, very good. But of course, especially in today's world, and we hear this unfortunately more and more nowadays. Just be super, super careful. I mean, we don't even send pictures or anything where there's any other personal information on any of the usually known platforms. Unfortunately, I would say the safest thing, I know it's not as kind of quick and what we're not really doing every day, but it's usually by email. Most of the well-known email providers might be safe, but the usual kind of smart app services, I would be very cautious with those kind of things.
I'm also an advocate for sexting, but when it comes to steamy pictures, honestly, even though, like, I'm not saying we don't do it, but we've never done it, but we don't do it regularly. But even if, God forbid, it was to ever leak, I think there is a difference that it's my husband rather than a boyfriend. So if you're in a relationship and you're not married, there's no commitment or anything like that. That is true. When there is a potential to break up because you're not really sure the direction you're going, I would really refrain from sending nudes. Or suggestive poses, as the gentleman beside me likes to call them.
Where is he?
Let me see.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Absolutely. Perfect.
So that is all of our tips.
That is most of the...
a recap.
Yes, correct. So I think first and foremost, number one tip is be spontaneous. Like there is no playbook. There is no kind of, this is the schedule. This is the things you need to do. generally speaking, any of these things, it has to be spontaneous. You know, if you schedule things,
no, it doesn't have to be spontaneous, but it's more exciting.
Well,
when
yes,
it's
but really keep it spicy, I would say it has to be spontaneous. Anything you schedule, any of these things, if it becomes regular routine, then they also lose the effect on it, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to keep it as effective and really keeping things spicy over time, you have to kind of change them up a little bit, different things, you know, at different time moments and so forth, right?
And I feel like even to be spontaneous, I think I'll just take it back, because I'm deep like that. But you have to just I'll take it back to say it needs a mindset shift that makes you prioritize your relationship, to actually start thinking
to be intentional.
Like we need work. There's nothing successful that doesn't require work, you know. So the same thing goes for a relationship. Like if you become too comfortable, very complacent, and you fall into a routine, there's no effort, because you feel like you're just living every day and doing the things that need to be done.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you think about it, like, I need to be intentional. I want to make my marriage or my relationship very exciting for, you know, even being married for a long period of time. It really takes that mindset shift to recognize this is important. And then by being intentional about it, that's when you can come up with spontaneous things that pleasantly surprise your partner.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, actually, when you said that now, one thing that came to my mind is something that Michelle Obama said in her, I think it wasn't even in her book.
Becoming.
And of course, there's a bit more context to it, but she basically said one of the key moments in their relationship with Barack was when she understood that it is not Barack's responsibility to make her happy. Now, of course, initially we were like, well, but the husband, surely, he should make her happy. But obviously she meant in a much deeper level.
Yeah.
She didn't mean like obviously leaving him anything bad in that sense, but just that she is in control. If she wants to change something about the relationship, if she wants to do change about something in her life, she can take the initiative and do it. You know, she doesn't have to rely on her partner or expect him to be the one. Well, but you should be trying to achieve or help me achieve my vision or anything, goal in life. A little bit like this. If you feel, if you want to make your relationship exciting, there are things you can do. To initiate at least. Of course, eventually, if your partner doesn't react, then that's a different story. But you can change that. You can take it into your hands.
Yeah, rather than thinking, well, he's not done this and he's not done that. Yeah.
And we cannot close this, although we're not yet immediately finished, by mentioning Hannah Edwards.
We cannot close it by mentioning.
We cannot finish this video without mentioning, Hannah Edwards and her comment right now. I love that you brought this up. I was actually waiting for this almost. I was waiting for somebody to mention this, okay? And you're completely right. We completely missed it. So Hannah said, role-playing, get a new persona and act a scenario can be very sexy. Now, I completely agree. Love it. My follow-up question, Hannah, if you don't mind, or anybody else, and you can pretend that it's a hypothetical, but what would be your favorite persona to act out? If you guys want to let us know, it could be hypothetical. In your imagination, what would be a hypothetical persona that you think would be very exciting to act out? But anyway. We'll see if the comments come in, and if not, I understand.
Yeah. Okay. So back to recap. Yes. Being mindful, intentional, which would then make you more spontaneous, regardless of what your partner is doing. Because sometimes when you pick up the initiative, they realize, okay, I need to step up my game as well. So Correct. It could very well start from you.
Yeah.
The second tip is understand just read up about the 5 love languages, have a conversation with your partner, or reflect on the way your relationship has been so far and realize, actually, I get more, acknowledgement, or I get my partner more excited or happier when I do something for him, or when I buy something, or when I say how amazing he is, so if you understand where your partner fits into the 5 love languages, that could help you when you're being spontaneous. It could give you tips on what to do.
Yeah. And as a last, maybe very practical takeaway and kind of recap, based on these 2 things, so 5 love languages and being spontaneous, think about 1, 2, or 3 things that you can think of right now that in the next 4 weeks or so you want to be doing that you know can help or your partner would like and enjoy. Yeah. Right? And in theory, what we did, obviously, to do the reverse, we actually sat down and challenged ourselves, okay, let's come up, not telling each other first, you come up with 3 things you think I would like, and then vice versa, and then we compared, and then we actually decided to do all of them. Okay, so again, this could be a nice exercise, practical takeaway at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and maybe we'll take just a few more minutes now to see if there's any more questions. You guys got getting really excited and heated here. Somebody was saying they would like to play a nurse and doctor, the typical, a stripper. Okay.
Someone said meeting up at a bar and pretending you don't know each other.
All right.
I love that. I love that.
Awesome. But anyway, so maybe 2 or 3 questions towards the end now. If you guys have anything else you would like to either let us know or ask us, this is your chance. So let's see.
There's no question. It's mostly just in the comment.
True. Flirty boss. Okay, heading on the secretary. All right.
Ooh, I love that.
Wow.
So MM says, they say don't bring work home. Well, I'm a nurse and I love my job. So role playing a naughty nurse is fun. I love that.
Wow. And Leticia said that stripper got really inspired by J-Lo's last movie, where obviously J-Lo played a stripper as well. All right.
Okay.
Very good.
But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and you've, learned a thing or 2.
And as always, of course, for all the newcomers, make sure please to subscribe to our channel to get notifications about future videos and stay up to date of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And of course, also follow us on Instagram if you're not already following us.
Adanna_David.
Or 2.navigate for our To Navigate series.
Or 2.navigate.
Yeah, isn't it 2.navigate? Yeah, 2.navigate, no?
No.
No, okay, 2Navigate then. I don't even know our handle.
Okay, guys, we're going to end the video now. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week, Wednesday. As always, if there's anything that you would like us to discuss in the videos, the live videos, do leave a comment underneath the video once it goes live on YouTube. And we will catch you next week.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.